played a pivotal role in the phenomenal growth of the IT and ITES sector for boosting software exports.
STPI was started with two objectives. First was to decentralize decision making, which till then was taking place in Delhi. And the belief was that by decentralizing, the government would be reducing friction to business for software companies. The second objective was to provide a robust data communication facility using satellite technology. I must say that this idea of Mr. N. Vittal, who was then the Secretary of the Department of Electronics, took off like wildfire. It added extraordinary value to the software industry, and I would say that one of the main reasons why the software industry took off in 1991-92 and has reached the levels that it has in becoming in India becoming the software center of the world is primarily due to the software technology park model that was designed by the then Department of Electronics and continued by the Ministry of Information Technology. I am very, very grateful to STPI for all the wonderful policies that they have put in place, and everybody in the software industry in India must be very, very grateful to them. Entrepreneurship is extremely important in translating ideas into wealth and in creating jobs. Of course, these are, as everybody knows, extremely important for the progress of a country like India. That is where I believe the new projects at STPI in helping entrepreneurs incubate their ideas and creating intellectual property is going to be extremely useful for the country. I wish STPI the best of success in this venture too.
Software Technology Parks of India has played a very critical role in the development of the Indian software export industry. From the time they were started in 1991, they've had a phenomenal impact. As a result of STPI, all companies, big and small, were able to create their own infrastructure. There was one single point where they could get all their approvals, all their clearances, and consequently, the Indian IT industry was able to invest in its growth by building its own infrastructure, which became world-class. And if we look back at the records, we would see that that is a time when the Indian IT industry began to really take off and accelerate its growth. The best thing about STPI was that it worked in close partnership with industry. In virtually all of the STPI leadership understood what the issues were. Industry and STPI sat closely, worked together, and as a result, all government policies, rules, regulations were observed without slowing down the pace at which industry could grow. If it hadn't been for the establishment of STPI, I do not think that the Indian IT industry would have crossed $100 billion today. It was very visionary leadership from the Ministry of IT at that time and from NASSCOM, which was a software industry body, to work together and architect a new scheme that virtually built our entire industry from scratch. Today, when we have crossed $100 billion, the role of STPI can be different. And I'm really delighted that STPI today, the Ministry of IT today, is looking at transforming STPI into a vehicle that will encourage entrepreneurship in the country by looking at incubation, by looking at other forms of support, training, etc. that can be done. Today, all of the investment that was made in infrastructure, in people, in government officers who understand the industry can be leveraged for what is the need of the hour. More entrepreneurs, building products, an area that now needs more growth as the services industry has become mature. And I, for one, really look forward to STPI playing a critical role in its new avatar in the same way that it played in the old times when the industry got established.
I feel very delighted to speak about STPI because my journey as an entrepreneur started with launching of the STPI scheme by Government of India. When I read about STPI scheme, I felt so excited. I said I should become an entrepreneur. And truly, they lived to whatever they said under that particular scheme. The first and the foremost they talked about is decentralization, so that people like me who were then in a very startup mode did not make many trips to New Delhi to get our paperwork done. And the second one was the scheme was envisaged in such a way that we could import everything from abroad if we did software exports with 0% duty. And the third one, which is also equally important, was the ability to have data communication links. Coupled with the STPI scheme, I think the Government of India did something very smart, and that could be one reason why STPI scheme became also extremely successful. They launched something called the income tax benefit under a scheme called the 10A 10B benefit, which effectively meant that if you're doing export business, all your profits were exempt for any tax. It was zero tax that was there. I think these are the things which made STPI very successful in the initial period. It continues to do good work even now. As things change, as we see the whole world getting into product mode, the digital mode, there are a number of initiatives that the STPI scheme has launched in the recent past. Now they have a national software product policy with which they're encouraging industry to develop more amount of products. They're also now setting up centers of excellence across the country in leading edge new digital technologies, whether it's AI, it is IoT, it is blockchain, and so on and so forth. I think these technology initiatives from STPI will encourage new entrepreneurs to ensure that they will probably focus themselves. So therefore, again, let me conclude by saying STP has done a great job, continues to do a great job, and I wish them all success in future too. Thank you.